Okay, this is me, Dr. Chef. Tuning in, waiting for some of you all to tune in. I give you all a moment here to tune in. I couldn't get any background music this time, you all. Hey there. How are you there? I just said Daya, 6'9". Yes, Diamond. Yes, this is me, Dr. Chef. Happy Wednesday. I am starting my Wellness Wednesday about 30 minutes behind from my 7 because I had a really late night. Hey there, how you doing? How you doing? Untamed Voice, this is the Dr. Chef. Told y'all I would come. I'm still trying to learn the crossover between Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, y'all. I'm going to be sharing them all. On Facebook, Felicia Ann Jordan, and underneath is Dr. Chef um, Dr. Chef Felicia Ann. And so on here, because it's easier, yes, hey, Untamed, yeah, it's easier for me to come on. It don't give me all that extra on here and Facebook, but I know a lot of people are not on Facebook as much anymore. And then, of course, I'm going to get to the point because it's so early that where I had to get one of my buddies, one of my friends over to take and show me how to share that because I've been trying to figure that out for a minute. I'm not super techie savvy. Clearly, I got my hands full with the wellness and the health and wellness. And so today's segment, for those who all that are tuning in with me for Wellness Wednesday, and I'm going to repeat it a few times as I see different ones come on. It's going to be about stress. Yes, I'm staying focused on the stress factors because now I realize we're in the season right before May when there's a lot of celebration, a lot of things that's transitioning, a lot of shifting that's going on in the atmosphere. I know I've already shared that this has been happening for me, but I'm also noticing that it's happening for others. And I think that some of us may be missing it. And I'm not going to try to get too deep off into it because I see you just got a few. I'm going to give a few more time to come on because I know that some was probably thinking, okay, right at 7. Yes, I had to do the 7:30 because I was like, wow, it's some heavy stuff that I had to deal with yesterday. And the thing about it is that what you have to understand, or what I would like for you all to understand, and some of you all that may tune in, that's tuning in later, and that may call or text. Hey there, pretty nice Jay. Give the children, look, give the children love, peace, love, and big hugs and kisses for me. Yes, I was like, I made it, y'all. I made it. I'm trying to stay on the schedule. This Wellness Wednesday is most definitely going to be about stress and how to alleviate, how to take the moose size. I'm gonna share a little testimony. Well, it's a big one to me because it's concerning life and how I was. It's kind of like a rendition. It's going to be a spinoff from what I've already, somewhat of what I've already shared, but from another perspective because this also helps me with Wellness Wednesday as I share with you all. And so what's happening now is that I understood that a flood would probably come through, a flutter of people would come through that that just needed more help. And so the responsibilities that we have, as you all know, some of you all know as caregivers, is that we can't always be able to be there 24/7 as much as we want to for those who are placed in our path, or for those that may want us in or want us or find us in their path. And so that was a struggle for me not to be able to be there for everyone that needed me in their path, meaning the time. I wanted to see them have as much time as I wanted to be able to invest in people and their health. And so yesterday was the big test. I don't know how things worked out for you all. I pray that it went well. Clearly, if you're alive, you're tuning in, it lets you know that some good things are taking place, meaning you woke up with breath in your body today. You woke up alive and well. And I often have to reflect back to my daughter Najee, because clearly that spirit that she had of love and always wanting to keep a smile on her face, and she kept a simple, I mean, everything was simple with her. I want to eat, I want to, get up and ride, take a little travel, little trip, and I want to sit and I want to listen and I want to learn. All the things that the doctors told me that she would never be able to do. Now, just imagine if I had allowed stress and listening to all of the negative things that were said to me concerning my firstborn. I would have never ever got to a place to where I would have thought that I could even see her grow for 24 years of her life. Would have never got to that point if I had believed all of the stressful, negative things that I was being told. And here it is, first time mommy. First time mommy. And so that taught me, of course, I didn't know then, but I know now. And yes, I did have my aunties, my mom, and different ones, other mothers that were around me at the time that was encouraging me not to give up. But for the most part, they were confused as well, because she didn't look like anything was wrong with her, because she had such a beautiful, normal looking face. And I'm thinking, wow, looking back on it now, 24 years later, I'm like, that's how it is with us today. When you don't say anything and you don't look like your test, and you don't want to stress anyone else out, what happens is that you can be misdiagnosed. Did you all catch that? So this is what Wellness Wednesday is going to be about for me. It's being able to share this with you, and preferably it helps somebody that you may decide that you want to share this with. Because I'm not writing down anything, because I realize as of right now, to flow from my spirit, to flow from my mind is what's most comfortable for me. But what I feel like God wants me to be able to share with you all. So that's the reason why I chose to do it this way. I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, what would Najee do? What would you do, Najee? Work. She would keep going. She would keep being persistent. She would not allow anything to stop her. The drive is her drive of consistency, of keeping her spirit at peace was clearly her ultimate goal. And so I said, I can take notes from my firstborn, that the spirit that she had and the energy that she carried through every test that I have now, or I could have took the attitude that, hey, I am mathematics. I love that title. Okay, I needed you for a student. And so therefore, today's is Wellness Wednesday, and I'm going to be sharing what I had been thinking about since yesterday about stress. I had a leader of many that I have known of for years, since I was a little girl, wanted to discuss stress, how important it was, or if I felt that stress is one of the killers, or that can cause you to be sick. And I was like, okay, I would think most people know that. Well, no, we got people that's out here that's teaching that stress is not. They won't touch on the matter. They just want. And I believe that part of it is because they believe that saying the word itself can cause some stress, or makes them have to be realistic about the things that's going on in their life that they're trying to cover up, or that they don't want to have to deal with. But nevertheless, not dealing with it is actually one of the number one keys of being in denial of it. And that's why it takes over the body. Or else there wouldn't be a such thing as stress hormones. Stress hormones come in the midst of anger, in the midst of frustration. And if you don't feel that you're able to fix a problem, or don't have the answers to how to fix the problem, And so this is where the brain starts to think about it. You don't think to per se breathe as much as you need to. I know, because when I lost my dad, I did. I thought about all of the things I could have. I thought about, oh, if I would have had just went to his house that day, if I would have stopped, maybe I could have talked him into just going and getting a checkup. Maybe that. Now this is my mentality. Then this is 7 years ago. I was thinking, man, maybe I could this. Maybe I, if I would have pleaded with, if I would put my foot down, Daddy would have listened to me. And I had all these things. Hey, yo, Joe, I had all these things going in my mind about how I could have saved my father. Well, while I was thinking about this and thinking about the joy of when daddy, because you know how it is when you're the firstborn or when you the daddy's girl, for some of y'all that may be, or they just have someone that just really, really are they're happy when they see you. Well, that's how my father was. And it was always a big greet, like, oh, my Felicia is here, she's here. Now I got addicted to that every time my dad saw me, that it was excitement. Like he was looking for me to do something that was good, like joy, about joy to his life. And so thinking about not getting that, hey, there go my feet, there go my, that began to stress me out. It stressed me out because I said, nobody else in my life greeted me like that. Yes, with a smile. Yes, with a hug. Yes, but not with all that excitement that my father carried. Every time I entered into a room, every time I knocked on the door and said, where's my daddy? That was that back on my feet. And so when he passed, of course, naturally, I wanted to be able to think of ways to save my father. I hadn't opened up my health and wellness practice at that time. However, it was pressing on me, and I knew he would have been there. And then I had the guilt trip of that, and that turned it to stress. And as I stressed about it, and I thought about it, I tossed and I turned about it, I started to get sharp pains in my heart. I mean, real sharp ones. And right then and there, something was saying, you are about to have a heart attack. Now, mind you, I'm on my healthy regimen. I'm eating good. This is the reason why I had to address this for Wellness Wednesday, because we literally have holistic people that are not addressing this. And I know it because I'm getting the phone calls. I'm still getting the consultations that is stating what about stress? And they'll want me to go through talking to them about fruits and vegetables and what their regimen is, and that they've already tried, and then something comes up. It's not always social. It's not always that they're feeling the pressure. It's not even always appetite. In a lot of cases where you have great responsibilities, it's the mind. It's what you're thinking in the mind, and it's when you stop focusing on breathing, the oxygen that you need in order to help the blood flow go throughout the body to nourish the body, and more importantly, to nourish the heart, that causes strokes and heart attacks. Yes, the number one is mostly from clogged arteries, from eating toxic foods. Yes, that is one of the number ones. One out of the top 3 reasons why. But the top one most definitely would, and the reason why we call it the silent killer is because most of the time nobody knows the why. The only time we say that, think about it, the only time we say when we find out that someone has passed from a heart attack, that, yeah, they died from a broken heart. That's what we say. They passed from a broken heart. Think about it. If they just had lost a loved one, or if they just lost a job, or if they if a relationship didn't work out and you heard them complaining, then that's when we associate stress with being the number one killer. But think about those of us who don't communicate, who don't talk, who don't express that. And then you hold all that in. And then here it is, you're sleeping at night, you're trying to rest at night, and you can't, you're tossing, you're turning. This is one of the number one killers of our people. This is one of the number one causes of stroke. So I'm coming before you all today to discuss and to make sure that you pay attention to yourself and your loved ones and friends. When you know that they're going through something, send that nice text. Hope you're having a good day today. I hope you're doing well today. Just thought about you. Look, I love you, sis. I love you, bro. You'll be surprised just how much that helps. You'll be surprised. Somebody said, put something in the chat if you got time, if you're not working, to let me know that that I'm on to something, or that this is helpful for you. And then I do want to go ahead and put in for my consultations. Take a little break. Greetings to everyone that's tuning in right now. I'm going to put in the number that you all can call for consultations. My consultations is set up for only through donations at this point. I am not. I prayed about it and I thought about it, and that's what I came up with. That's what hit to my mind. Said do donations, because that too is a stress. That too is a stress. That's a stress for a lot of our people, especially during graduation time. You got children that's graduating, you got people that want to travel, a lot of traveling that takes place during this time, a lot of money being spent in the celebratory time that we have. So I know, because even though April is here, a lot of people are prepping for May. I know, I'm a May baby. Keep that in mind. I know. And at the end, mine's usually my birthday, just in case some of you all don't know, fall right there on graduation time for most people across America. I don't know about across the world, but when you're talking about the end of May 24th, that's right there on graduation time. I was always having a birthday right during my graduation time. And so, no, I never asked for two gifts. I never got caught up with that. But nevertheless, I wind up realizing that the good part was that it taught me that life is not just about you, that it revolves around everybody. And I embraced that. I loved it. I loved celebrating with family. I love seeing other people be celebrated. And so I'm thankful that I have experienced what it feels like to be celebrated in certain areas, but for the most part, I never had done it by myself, because it's that's just the season that I was born in. And so I gotten comfortable with it. Now I'm saying this to say that I had to address it, because I was starting to feel stress to come upon me yesterday as I got the phone calls from leaders. And I mean leaders, and some of them were pastors, and different ones call, that I got a chance to speak to. I realized that one had fell off a regimen that were given to them by another naturopath. And I wanted to ask, well, why didn't you call them back? Why didn't you get more interest? Well, the spirit had thrown them off, the energy. So I'm coming to you because I want to apologize and share this with others that you feel like I want to apologize on behalf of those who unfortunately have been deceived in thinking that just because someone say that they care and that they love you all, and that here it is, we're doing something in health and wellness that money is attached to, that actually means that they care. No, you'll know when people care because they'll open up their lines. They will open up their lines with the right energy and the right spirit. You wouldn't, if you're on the regimen, yes, I'm finna set the bar. I am making it clear, and I'm setting the bar now. And a lot of people say, well, everybody don't have time to do that, Dr. Chef. And it's a fact that I know that everybody doesn't have my heart. I've been told that enough. But I say that is excuses, excuses, excuses. Yes. Greetings and happy Wednesday, 700 Black. Yes, That is an excuse. You cannot, and I used to say the same thing when I was a CNA back when I was 18, because I graduated with my certification in health occupation and my CNA license at that time. And yes, I took advantage of it because at the time, it wasn't too long after my mother had suffered a stroke right in front of my face. I watched her. Hey there, peace unto you. Yes, y'all, I made it Wellness Wednesday. Woo, woo. And I'm speaking on stress. And so I watched her as she's talking to me. We was just having a normal conversation, and her mouth just crooked over. This is my mom back when I was 15 years old. And I'm like, Mom, your mouth is twisting over. I was like, your mouth, your voice is slurred. And so right away, I called the doctor. At that time, at 15, I only knew to call the doctor. And yes, she had suffered a slight stroke. Well, my mother was very energetic at that time. She wasn't extremely overweight at that time. She was eating salads and fruits too at that time. Now, I'm not saying that she was on a 100%, but come on, you all. We know a lot of people that's not even eating half of the good stuff, and they have not suffered strokes. Even though it is a fact that you can suffer one and don't know that you have until the actual big one comes. Nevertheless, my point is that alone, having that experience alone, and that same year, actually, yes, I lost my grandmother. My grandmother had transitioned from an aneurysm at that time. And she also was dealing with stress. Yes, she was not as healthy as she needed to be, but I was starting to put two and two together even then. And so now that I have the information on our food, which you all do need to be very careful, I'm going to add that they are now, if not already, and you know how they do when they have legislators that go before DC. I got to share this. When they have legislators to go before DC, and the reason why I have to throw this in here is because I was propositioned several times to become a legislator, because they realized I didn't have fear of speaking to those who so-called had the powers that be that make laws. But I had to turn it down because the entities, I'm called the entities, that were trying to get me to be a legislator was actually not being as honest about what they were going to do with the funds. Let me put it to you like that. And I said I couldn't participate in anything that I normally know that wasn't going to go towards helping the community, meaning the money wasn't going to go towards the community if I had became the leader and trailblazer in that particular area. So I had to decline. But the legislators, if you just don't know, for those of you all who don't follow politics, they are the ones that go and push for the laws to be passed. And now there's a law that's getting ready to pass. For those of you all who don't know, I have sent out the post to some of the people. I am going to get better about sharing some of them on here. That plastic, they are trying to pass a law that they can make food out of plastic because of all of the different toxic plastic that they have made. And they are not differentiating or separating so-called quote unquote good safe plastic, which there's no such thing, from the toxic plastic. They just want, just like they gave us plant-based food, quote unquote plant-based food that is GMO food. Now they want to use the plastic because the scientists are at a place now where they, hey there, cousin Nina, the scientists are at a place now where they are able to manipulate the plastic and make it taste and the texture to get it towards it seeming like it tastes like food. And that's the reason why now any of you all that's still eating meat now, if you're eating meat and even some of the processed foods, that's why it tastes so chunky and so gummy, so rubbery. Watch out for that. And a lot of times you can tell that too by if you're still using the microwave and you put your food into the microwave. Well, the body cannot truly digest that. And that's the reason why we have these different sorts of hard type of fats that the people can't break down. Imagine putting that through a little skinny little string, something that's thinner than your shoestring. and and the body is trying to process that while you're stressing, meaning while you're not breathing properly, while you're thinking about the toxic things, while you're dealing with stress. This is what causes our people to have heart attacks, to stroke out, to have anxiety, frustration. And so I had to even catch my own self when I got the calls in and realized that some of the people were not being treated right or being made to feel comfortable about expressing how challenging it was for them to get on their regimen and to eat right. It hurt my heart, and I had to catch myself. I mean, it literally hurt my heart. When I really took out the time to think about it yesterday evening, and I'm like, oh my God, these people are responsible for so many people. Why would somebody in health and wellness that claim to care about our people not cater to the people, right? Think that it's okay. You all, I'm saying this to say, and I'm trying to take my time because this is where my whole heart is, my whole heart. And I know you all have heard me express this before. Pray, meditate before you put your life and your health and wellness in the hands of people that don't have the right spirit. Ask for it. The universe, God, whoever you believe in, will share that with you. You will know it. If you're given regimens or given being products are being presented to you, and I've been dealing with this the whole time that I've been a naturopath, and this is the reason why I was encouraged to start my own practice, because I got tired of hearing people say that they were just given something and it wasn't shown to them how to use it. When you're talking about a life change, it's no different. Think about it, Sister Najee. It's no different from when you're training children. Do they get it the first time? Most of the time they don't. But even with getting it the first time and understanding how to take care of, hey there, Sister Lori, this is Wellness Wednesday. Even with trying to get it the first time, you have to practice that. That's the reason why you have to go to the children, tell them, no, baby, go this way. No, do this. No, sit down over here. You got to constantly, it's a routine that takes place to get them trained. It's called train. Now we call it coaching. If you ever play sports, think about it. What coach do you know? Go collect a team, and then you only go and do your practice run one time, 2 times. And what I mean by your practice run, and think about it. They let them do it one by one to see who's the fastest, to see who can be the running back, to see who can be the quarterback, to see who can be the first leg. I'm going to track now. To see who's the best first leg, second leg, third leg. To see who would be the best long distance runner, to see who would be the best 3-pointer. It's a constant practice, and this is exercise now, extreme exercise, to see who would be the best swimmer, who has the most longevity. If we do this, my point is that if this has to be done, even with playing a game that they have attached, our people being able to get money from it, that's not including in school. Now, you don't get no money for that. You get a uniform and a hand clap. And we're working the body over time, even doing that, and you have to be coached into doing that. Then how much more for if you are addicted to a chemical-based food and product? Meaning, I have to give you that one-on-one time. I used to get mocked for going over my time. Yeah, you all call in and you get 30 minutes to say, okay, I just need 30 minutes. Some people would need 30 minutes. And eventually they realize that, oh no, this is just her passion. No, it's going to go over depending on your condition. I can put, and somebody said, well, you got to be able to keep a schedule or you'll never get done. Yeah, but I got to utilize the time that I have according to what the need is. Now, if I have a consultation right behind that, then of course I have to. But if I know the nature of the call and how severe or unsevere the case is, then a lot of times I'll ask, can we reschedule, or can you give me until another time, a time phase, so that I can deal with this emergency right now? There's nothing wrong with that. This is how you can tell when people truly don't care. Or if you only have a 5-minute or 1-minute session, like a sister just reached out to me here on Instagram, which, by the way, you all, I didn't. I never used the phone on Instagram. Well, I was able to give her a 10-15-minute consult on 2 questions that she had by accidentally pushing on here the telephone. So I didn't know you could speak through Instagram. Yeah, I didn't know, but now I know. And so I actually can get calls on here. And so I told her, I said, okay, let me know how it's going. Did I charge her for it? No, I did not. I just didn't like that. I didn't know that there was a different section in here that different ones are leaving messages. So for those of you all who left messages a few days ago, and I'm just not trying to get into it, that's why. I just so happened to play a finagle around with this phone and realize, I said, wait a minute, I got messages in here. Let me click in here. That's why it's good to be tech savvy. It is. I'm learning, y'all. Thank y'all for bearing with me. And so I'm saying this to say, you all be careful. Be careful. This is the new hot thing now. Everybody wants to make money off of sick people now. And it's always been that way. But now it's crept over into the health and wellness field. It has crept over into the holistic field, where now, because they know that that there's a lot of competition out here, the people are just throwing things at people. And then at the end of the day, they still have to come back to people like myself and maybe a few others that actually care, that'll tell you, I'm sorry that you were put on that regimen. I'm sorry that you was told that you can, or made to believe that you could start something and be able to get a total healing from this, when in actuality you can't. It's a chance, a 1 out of 10 chance that you would. And this is the reason why you have so many falling off. And if you want to be real honest about it, and I will admit it, when I first started, I was falling off. I was still going back and forth, eating on my stuff and chips. But the truth is, most of them are doing that every day. That's teaching you how to eat to live. And you'll know it because of their attitude and their spirit and their energy. They're rushing you off of the phone. You'll know it. They're quickly trying to sell you something just to get rid of you. And so you all don't fall for the okie doke is what I'm trying to say. Because at the end of the day, holistic practitioners like myself and health coaches like me, that actually weighs on our hearts and on our spirit. And I only say ours because I know of a few, just a few, that seems like they really truly care. They haven't gotten so caught up into the business aspect of it to where they're not, because at this point that makes us no better than the doctors. If you have something that's healthy for somebody, but that's also the reason why we can take it for granted sometimes, because we figure, oh, well, at least what I'm giving, it's not causing bad side effects or can cause some death. But the truth is, if you overtake certain vitamins, yes, you can. You can go into cardiac arrest. Yes, you can. There are certain vitamins. Yes, you heard me say it. Yes, you can share this with others if you're able to, that are on that when you go into their home, they have 100 different naturopathic things. Yes, you can. You will not be able to heal doing it that way. It's best to slow down, slow your roll, call in, and just ask simple questions. Show what you have. If your coach, health and wellness coach, cannot show you, will not be willing to let you show them what you have in your cabinet, what you are breaking bank over, if they're not willing to take out the time to, once they recommend you for something, I don't care if you are on a 30-minute, a 10-minute, an hour session. If they won't let you take out the time to show you what they're selling, to show you how to properly use something, then I advise you not to seek coaching from them, because it shows you where the heart is at. It's no different than from a doctor that want to just prescribe you a whole bunch of medicine and tell you take this, take that, and take this, and then the moment you tell them, hey, wait a minute, This one makes me feel too drowsy. Oh, well, no, this one caused me to, I noticed I got swelling in my hand. And then the doctor said, oh, okay, well, here, let me up your dose. You know, they just there for a paycheck. They're there for a paycheck. Now, I wouldn't have felt like I had to share this on Wellness Wednesday if I hadn't gotten a flutter of calls yesterday on different ones that have been experiencing this. I've even and then there is a track record I know too of, and this is the reason why I came back sooner than later after the transition of my daughter, because I didn't want, I knew how critical, put it to you like this, I knew how critical it was that while there are people that I was coaching that have been on regimens for them, for me to reappear. And yes, no, even though I didn't get a chance to go out of town and get me a break and things of that nature, you know, and I did, I said, Lord, I did, I had to ask God, you know, why come I can't take a break? You know, why come all this is coming up? You know, wow. And all I got was, this is part of the making process. This is what I built you. I made you to do this. You know, I got that you wouldn't put on more on me than I can actually bear. Now that's what they say God say. It don't mean a man won't or a woman won't put more on you than you can bear. So you do have to know, and sometimes we don't know until we have to bear some things, until you have to carry something. You don't know how much heaviness that you can carry. And so all it showed me was that I do have strength that even I didn't know that I had. And so, but I'm telling you all that know, that already have gone through certain things, and you know you're ailing in your body. You know that you have a sickness. You know there's excess amount of waste that you still want to get rid of. Be very intentional and selective about where you get that information from. Don't be afraid to ask the question. Challenge people's hearts. Challenge their spirit. When look, after all, we have a reporter here in St. Louis, the famous saying that he's known for at the end of all of his segments, when he takes and reports something that's going on in St. Louis. His name is Elliot Davis. His famous saying for 30-some years, I believe he was a reporter, he's a black brother, was, and you paid for it. You can do that. You want to know why? Because you paid for it. And even if you didn't pay money for the information, even if you never gave a donation, hey, peace unto you, I love that, then you still pay attention. You still took out your time when there's 100,000 other people out here on this. Hey, Sister Dottie, yes, I made it in, y'all, for Wellness Wednesday. There's so many other people that you could have had took out time to listen to. So what I'm saying is that always remember, Grand Rising, that the ball is in your court. Because they got a saying that we like to use for the MDs, for the medical doctors, that hey, and that we like to use for the health industry all the time. And the naturopaths, yes, I'm telling off on them. The naturopaths like to use it as leverage, and it is, well, if none of us are sick, then there wouldn't be no need for no doctor, or it wouldn't be no hospital without any sick people. Well, guess what? Let's go ahead and make that, let's be real here. That would be the same for a naturopath. That's the same for us too. If nobody is sick, if nobody doesn't need to learn how to eat more healthier and learn how to do the things that's necessary to help them to have a more healthier life, then there's no need for us neither. So that means that there is a higher standard of care if you're so healthy and we're so well, so much so to where we can teach you something and coach you about something that we have to be held to. No, and ain't no need of us falling into that trap of talking about, well, ain't nobody perfect. No, there is another meaning for perfect, and that is to mean to be mature, meaning to be accountable. To be mature is to be accountable, and not just through lip service, but through your actions. Meaning that It's not good enough for you to for me to just always give a broad coaching session to everybody and think that it's going